Hi, I'm Lori. Welcome to our next chapter, Life After Corporate. My husband Ken and I retired from corporate life, and now we're building a freedom-first lifestyle through real estate and other projects while actually enjoying the life we worked for. We live in Boise, Idaho, but we also spend time in Seattle, where our yacht is kept in Elliott Bay. You'll see everyday life, hangar days, marina weekends, tennis and cooking, behind the scenes of our projects, and plenty of cameos from Lexi, our Pekingese Chihuahua with a big personality. And you'll also meet my 95-year-old mother. I take her to Catholic Church in Glens Ferry twice a month, and she's one of the best parts of this chapter. If you love real-life lifestyle, routines, and a little adventure, subscribe and come along with us. We're back in Seattle this week and ready to take Lady Georgia for a cruise to test out all the improvements we've made over the past few months and make sure she's seaworthy. We've decided to go to Poulsbo, nicknamed Little Norway, for its charming Scandinavian downtown area. Only an hour-and-a-half cruise from Elliott Bay Marina, it's a perfect getaway for Ken, Lexi, and I. My grandfather on my mother's side was Norwegian, so I'm particularly excited to see this quaint little village on the Kitsap Peninsula. It's low tide this morning, it rained last night, and the sky is very dramatic as we look over the cruise ship terminal into downtown Seattle. Before we left, I took Lexi for a nice walk around the marina. When we got back to the boat, we saw a harbor seal and her pup swimming right next to it. July is right in the middle of harbor seal pupping season in Puget Sound. Harbor seal pups in central and southern Puget Sound are generally born from late June through August or early September. The babies can swim almost immediately and commonly stay close to their mothers while nursing and learning to forage. Mothers usually nurse them for only about 4 to 6 weeks, so this close mother-pup period is relatively brief. Ken went through his pre-cruise checklist, raised the dinghy, and got Lady Georgia ready to leave. Ken can operate the controls from 3 different locations on the boat. Up top on the flybridge, in the galley, and then from the cockpit on the back of the boat. Manning a 66-foot boat with 2 people is not a problem when the winds are relatively calm. When we leave, it's my job to untie the lines, throw them on board, and jump on while Ken captains the boat. As we left Elliott Bay Marina and passed the Holland America cruise ship, it was amazing how in just a few hours the skies had cleared, the sun was shining, and the mountain was out, which is how Seattleites refer to Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier is 14,410 feet, or 4,392 meters tall, making it the highest mountain in Washington State and the Cascade Range. As we cruised through Elliott Bay, we passed the Georgios, a massive 751-foot dry bulk carrier. Although it looks a bit like an oil tanker from a distance, ships like this carry dry commodities such as grain, coal, or fertilizer. With a capacity of more than 80,000 metric tons, it's an impressive reminder that Seattle is not only a beautiful waterfront city, but also a major working port. Ken's navigation software shows us the route we'll be taking around the north side of Bainbridge Island up to Poulsbo, which is on Liberty Bay. On this map, the white and blue parts are water, and the yellow parts are land. It's still low tide as we set out, so you can see quite a bit of shoreline in front of the waterfront homes that we pass. As we make our way around the north end of Bainbridge Island towards Poulsbo, we pass beneath the Agate Pass Bridge. This green steel bridge carries State Route 305 across the narrow Agate Passage, connecting Bainbridge Island with the Kitsap Peninsula. The channel here is relatively tight, and the currents can move quickly, which makes passing under the bridge one of the more memorable parts of the trip into Liberty Bay. As we enter Liberty Bay, we pass the Naval Undersea Warfare Center at Keyport, a secure U.S. Navy facility located right along the waterfront. The center supports the research, testing, maintenance, and development of undersea warfare systems, including torpedoes and unmanned underwater vehicles. An hour and a half later after leaving Seattle, we arrived at our destination, Poulsbo, or Little Norway, on Liberty Bay. You can anchor your boat for free in the bay, so there were a lot of boats at anchor as we arrived that Sunday afternoon. We had reserved a slip outside the breakwater for our trip, so Ken stopped and got the boat ready to dock. I was amazed you could still see Mount Rainier from the bay. As we walked along the dock up to town, we passed another harbor seal sunning herself with her pup. The mamas and their babies were everywhere, and I could watch them for hours. We decided to take a walk and explore the town. Poulsbo was originally founded in the 1880s by Jørgen Eliasson, or Norwegian immigrant, and it soon attracted many other Scandinavian settlers, especially Norwegians. The landscape around Liberty Bay, with forested hills, water, fishing, and a fjord-like setting, reminded some newcomers of Norway. That Norwegian heritage is exactly where Poulsbo, Little Norway, Viking City, Viking murals, Rosamald storefronts, Viking Avenue, and annual Viking Fest traditions come from. The city still maintains formal ties with the communities in Norway. Before Norwegian and other Euro-American settlement, the Poulsbo and Liberty Bay area was, and remains, part of the ancestral homeland of the Suquamish people, who lived, fished, gathered shellfish, and held spiritual sites there for thousands of years. We got on Yelp to find a place to have dinner that had a dog-friendly patio and chose Sogno di Vino, which in Italian means dream of wine, a beautiful Tuscan restaurant on Front Street with a magnolia tree in the courtyard. The food was delicious, and we highly recommend it. On the walk back to the boat, we passed by a floating dock where more harbor seals and their pups were enjoying the sunset. The seals often curled into what's called a banana pose, lifting their heads and tails to help regulate their body temperature while keeping a watchful eye on the water. Hauling out on a dock also lets them rest, warm up, nurse their pups, and conserve energy. The next morning, we took the dinghy to the harbor master's office during low tide. At low tide in Liberty Bay, it's common to see some sailboats resting on the mud or leaning dramatically onto one side. The upper bay is very shallow, and a few boats are intentionally moored where they take the ground as the tide goes out, then float upright again when the water returns. Others may simply be anchored too close to shore, but either way, it's a striking reminder of how much the tides shape daily life on the bay. Right along Liberty Bay is Muriel Iverson Williams Waterfront Park, the scenic heart of downtown Poulsbo. A peaceful pathway follows the shoreline past grassy areas, benches, and a covered pavilion with beautiful views in the marina, the bay, and on a clear day, the Olympic Mountains. Wildlife is abundant here. We passed a bald eagle perched on a boulder that's only visible during low tide. As we headed back to town from our walk, there were now 2 bald eagles on the rock. This is the Guardian Stone, a striking sculpture created by local artist Lisa Sturrett. It was inspired by Norway's famous Swords and Rock monument and decorated with images drawn from ancient Norwegian petroglyphs. I passed an aquarium on the waterfront that's open on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays that I'll have to check out next time I'm there. On our walk back to the boat, we passed blue herons, seagulls, and many other birds feasting during low tide. The seals were also active swimming and foraging outside the breakwater of the marina. Once the tide was a little higher, we took Lady Georgia over to the free pump-out station in the marina. It's an important part of responsible boating, allowing us to empty the boat's holding tanks safely instead of discharging waste into the water. It only took a few minutes, and then we were ready to head back to our slip. We took the dinghy back to town to pick up some dinner for takeout. While we were waiting, we stopped in at The Sip for a drink, a dog-friendly tap room where you pour your own beer, cider, or wine. As we motored out again, we saw another great blue heron, as well as the usual suspects on the dock as we exited the marina. We enjoyed a sunset dinner on the flybridge as the sun bathed the town in a warm glow. The next day, we set out for town to walk Lexi. We had a wonderful light lunch at Dalla Baia Italian Bistro. I had the burrata and peach salad, and Ken had the meatballs. Both were excellent. The restaurant has panoramic views of Liberty Bay and, of course, a dog-friendly patio.
Dig in, honey.
Ken wanted to go to the marine supply store to look for a few boat parts. Ken is in absolute heaven in a store like this. They had quite a variety of things for sale. Marine supply stores and Home Depot are two of his happy places. Just outside, there was a little fishing boat named Nora. Nora is the name of my sister who passed away of kidney disease in 2009. She was 5 years older than me, and I followed her everywhere, happy to be her tag-along as we grew up riding horses together. She was a big part of my life growing up, and I miss her very much. No visit to downtown Poulsbo is complete without stopping at Sluys Bakery, a family-owned, from-scratch bakery that's been a local landmark since 1966. It's best known for its original Poulsbo bread, oversized Viking donuts, maple bars, apple fritters, and its signature Viking cups. Cinnamon pastries shaped like cups and filled with cream cheese frosting. Get there early, they sell out fast. We strolled around town, checking out a few more sights. That evening, we took the dinghy over to the Waterfront Park where they have a summer concert series called Summer Nights at the Bay on Tuesday nights. We enjoyed the sunset as we listened to the music from the water. The flag was at half-staff to honor the passing of Senator Lindsey Graham. Then, Lexi spotted a kindred spirit, a pirate dog Rex, who came over to say hello with his owner. So cute. We headed back to our slip, enjoying another great sunset, but this one was bittersweet because it was our last night in Little Norway. The birds had the dock to themselves as the seals were out swimming or finding a more quiet place to haul out. The next morning, it was another beautiful day. Seals were swimming with their babies, and a blue heron was active around our slip. I decided to make Ken and I a filling breakfast before we got underway to Seattle. We had plenty of leftovers in the fridge to use up. I chopped up some roasted zucchini and asparagus and sautéed them in butter. Then I cut up some leftover ribeye and prime rib and beat some eggs for the egg scramble. After warming up some everything bagel egg white wraps, I dished up the egg scramble and added some avocado slices on top. And breakfast is served.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
A full-size dishwasher makes cleanup easy, and Ken guides Lady Georgia out into the bay to pull up fenders and get us underway. So, honey, why don't you tell everyone what we're doing today?
All right. Well, we've been in Poulsbo for 3 nights, and we just left the marina, and we're in the middle of Liberty Bay. It's interesting right now because you have low tide and high tide normally. Low tide is usually measured at 0, which is kind of the average. But you have something called extreme low tides, and in this case, low tide is in 9 minutes, and it's a negative 3.5, which means that the water gets 3.5 feet lower than it normally does. And if you look on the shore, you see a lot of area, green, mud, things like that, that is normally covered when the tide is high. If you look at that, the high tide goes almost all the way to the tree line there. So it's we're spending a lot of time just making sure we're in the middle of the channel, not going in any really low spot areas. And the channel that we're about to go through to get back to towards Seattle is pretty narrow channel, so we'll be watching that. And the plan is, when we came to Poulsbo, we went around Bainbridge Island. We went around the north side of Bainbridge Island, and going home, we're going to take the southern route, go around the bottom of Bainbridge Island, and then head back to Seattle. Now, there's some really interesting things in here. Bremerton is submarines as well, but it's kind of a famous military base. My grandfather helped fix ships during World War II there. And then up here, we're going to go by what is called the Naval Undersea Warfare Engineering Station. So we're going to take it really easy, not do anything stupid. And then really close on the other side here, in what's called the Hood Canal, that area, there's some additional military bases there, submarines. So the whole Puget Sound area has a lot of deep water, and as a result, it's home to a lot of military submarines. All right, with that, I'm going to focus on, I'm going to look down and get the score of the World Cup soccer match, which is on the TV in front of me. We're in split mode. I'm using the iPad for navigation so I can watch the World Cup match, but I'm getting ready to focus on the channel, which is that way, and like I said, very narrow.
It's definitely low tide as we head back to Seattle. Ken makes sure we're in the deepest part of the channel possible using our navigation software. Lady Georgia has a draft of about 4 feet, meaning the bottom of the boat extends roughly 4 feet below the waterline. Ken keeps the boat in water that's at least 30 feet deep to stay safe and avoid rocks. One of the things we wanted to test out on this trip was the ship's stabilizers, which had been worked on. As this boat goes by, Ken realized that he hadn't turned them on, and we get rocked quite a bit from their wake. Ken turned the stabilizers on, and the next boats we encountered, we hardly felt their wakes as they passed us. It's amazing what a difference it makes. You can see our boat in red on the navigation chart as we pass a restricted area torpedo range. This is the actual area. We see the Bremerton Ferry pass in front of us. Here, we're navigating one of the trickier sections of the channel. You can see a channel marker on our right and rocks jutting out of the water on our left. At high tide, many of those rocks disappear below the surface, and even at low tide, there are more hazards hidden underwater. To stay safe in the channel, we need to pass right of the marker just as the boat ahead of us is doing. Lexi and I enjoy some sunshine and fresh sea air on the bow as our trip was wrapping up. We came around a bend and out popped the Seattle skyline. There were lots of ferries traversing Puget Sound as we came into Seattle. To the left is the large off-white Pier 86 grain terminal. Grain arrives by rail and truck, is stored in the tall concrete silos, and then moves through an automated conveyor system into the holds of large bulk carrier ships like the Georgios, the ship we saw when we left Seattle. The Port of Seattle says the facility exports about 5 million metric tons of grain a year. There were no cruise ships in port at the moment as we passed by Pier 91 cruise ship terminal, but you can see now they're large operation buildings that aren't visible from the marina when ships are in port. Ah, home sweet home, at least for Lady Georgia. We pull into Elliott Bay Marina. With only a light breeze pushing us away from the dock, Ken guides Lady Georgia towards the slip facing into the marina. He then carefully maneuvers the boat through a 180-degree turn and gently brings her alongside. Holding Lady Georgia steady against the dock, he gives me time to step off and secure the lines. Then, Ken reties the lines to get Lady Georgia properly positioned and completely secured in her slip. Another trip well done, Captain Ken. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.